John Ulzheimer is known as one of our nation's most recognized credit experts. Having worked for 28 years in the credit industry, John has become one of the most prolific speakers about credit and the go-to authority on answers to credit-related questions. Credit Countdown with John Ulzheimer.
Hello, my name is John Ulzheimer. I'm a consumer credit expert with almost 30 years of experience in the consumer credit industry. I've spent time at FICO, the company that invented the FICO credit scoring system, and also Equifax, which is one of the three generally recognized credit reporting agencies. And today I'm going to talk about derogatory accounts and how they're treated by credit scoring systems. And specifically, I'm going to identify what a derogatory account is. Not all derogatories are created equal. And then I'm also going to talk about how credit scoring systems treat them, because again, they're not all treated the same way. So you're going to have to bear with me. I'm going to go a little egghead on you here for a second. So in credit scoring systems, when they look at a credit report, all the information on the credit report is either going to be bad or it's going to be what's referred to as a non-bad, which is kind of a technical way of saying good. And so it's binary, right? The information is either good or it's considered bad when it's being considered in the metrics that look at things like payment history. So if you have a credit card account that you've never missed a payment on, you've never gone delinquent, there's no history of late payments, there's no past due amounts, anything like that. So you've managed it great the entire time. Obviously that's a non-bad. Most people would call that a good account. So that's the category of information that we're not going to talk about today, because we're talking just about the bad stuff. So now you have an account that has some indication of mismanagement, and that could be it's currently late, it's got a past due balance, it was historically late sometime in the past but has now been brought up to date, or it's been cured is the technical term for that. And even under an account like that that does have a derogatory association with it, there's going to be even a subcategory below that. And that subcategory is going to be whether it is a major derogatory incident, some people call it a severe incident, or if it's going to be a minor derogatory incident, or in technical terms, I think most of the people in the credit scoring world would call those major derogs or minor derogs. So they're both derogatory, they both meet the definition of derogatory, but you have some accounts that are going to be minor derogatory incidents versus some accounts that are going to be major derogatory incidents. And so let's discuss the minor derogatory incident. An account that may have been 30 days late in the past, or even one time 60 days late in the past, but has been cured and it has not gone 90 days past due or worse ever, that's a minor derog. And minor derog is impactful to a credit score, but obviously it's not as impactful as something that's going to be more severe like a major derog. So like with the good accounts, now let's move off of minor derogs and let's talk about major derogs, because from a credit scoring perspective, these are the types of incidents that have the real potential to cause lower credit scores and to kind of wreak havoc on your credit report. So public records are all considered major derog incidents. So as of the recording of this video, only one type of public record is procured by the credit reporting agencies, and that's bankruptcies. There was a time where tax liens and civil judgments, if they were rendered against you or filed against you, would also appear on your credit reports. So tax liens, judgments, and bankruptcies are all considered to be major derogs, although in contemporary credit reporting, judgments and tax liens, while they still exist, are not picked up by the credit bureaus and added to your credit reports. And so in today's credit reporting world, the only type of public record is a bankruptcy, and bankruptcies are obviously considered to be major derogs. Collection accounts, there's some nomenclature issues with respect to collection. Some people call them collection trade lines. They're not trade lines, they're accounts. You don't have a line of trade or an extension of credit with a debt collector. You may have an account with the debt collector because the debt collector is trying to collect on behalf of another lender. And so third-party debt collectors, or some people call them collection agencies, they only report collection accounts to the credit bureaus. That's it. Collection accounts are considered to be major derogatory or severe derogatory incidents. There is no minor derogatory collection. So keep that in mind. Collections they have no redeeming value to your credit score. They're either bad for your score, or if they're buried within a bunch of other collections, then you may have some incidences where they are neutral because you have just so much other bad stuff that's causing you to have a lower score. And then you have some other common major derogatory incidents, so accounts that are currently past due, accounts that were historically 90 days past due or worse, or any sort of a record of terminal delinquency on a credit report. So things like settlements, charge-offs, foreclosures, repossessions, things like that are considered to be major derogatory incidents. So now here you have it. So now you have your three categories of information on credit reports: non-bads or goods, your minor derogs, and your major derogs. So just because you have a major derog, let's say you have 3 or 4 major derogs on your credit report, doesn't necessarily mean that they're all going to be considered the same way. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're all going to be considered at all, because credit scoring systems don't assign discrete or unique value to every single entry. So just because you have 6 derogatory incidents on your credit report, it doesn't mean that you're worse than if you had 5, because you've already, to use kind of a casual term, you're beating a dead horse, I guess is a way of putting it. So once you have a certain minimal number of major derogatory events, then that ship has sailed. You can't just continue to get incrementally worse because you've already foregone the maximum number of points for that particular category. And the only way you're going to get those back is eventually someday when all that derogatory stuff ages off of your credit reports. But there is also a measurement that considers the age of those types of incidents, and generally speaking, it's not as clean as just saying newer is always worse. But generally speaking, major derogatory incidents that are considerably newer than other major derogatory incidents may be the most influential of all the derogatory incidents. And of course, there is no universal statement saying that they always are or they always are not, but that certainly can be a possibility. So keep that in mind as you're reviewing your own credit reports, which you should do from time to time, and you're looking at the information to determine if you do have any derogatory incidents, and if you do, if they're going to be minor derogatory incidents or if they're going to be major derogatory incidents. And of course, if you can avoid all that stuff altogether, then your credit scores are going to thank you, and your credit reports are going to look great, and you're likely going to have much higher credit scores. So if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the section below and I'll do my best to get to them. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.
For more videos and credit tips from John Ulzheimer, go to www.tradelinesupply.com.